What's up, everyone? Gerald here with the Novice Angler. Anyway, it is cold outside. In fact, today's high is supposed to be only 40 degrees. So I figured instead of doing my usual fishing videos, I want to talk to you about something else that I'm passionate about. And long before I became passionate about fishing, I was passionate about knives. Anyway, yeah, I know, folks. For most of you, a knife is just a knife. I agree. In fact, for most of you, you're probably carrying around or using something that's similar to something like this. A little cheap gas station knife. Or in my case, it was a flea market knife. But the main thing is, a knife is probably one of the most important tools that you can have on you. I'm not saying that you need to spend a lot of money on a good quality knife. Far from it. In fact, I can tell you that of the vast majority of the knives that I have, and I have close to about 200 now, is that they fall between that price of anywhere between 30 all the way up to 80 at most. And some of the criteria that I look for in a knife is something that's lightweight, that's slim, something that I can just put in my pocket and forget about it. I don't want to be weighed down by it. I didn't realize the importance of having a good knife until I was 17. And what's ironic about that statement is that when I was 17, I just opened up my own knife business. And so there was a time, it was probably January, I believe, a cold, clear day. I went off-roading with one of my friends, and suddenly, later on that day, out of nowhere, this big blizzard came in, and we ended up getting stranded. His truck was stuck in the snow and mud. So the following morning, we actually had to trudge through about a couple miles of snow and finally found a house, and where the guy, he was willing to help us. He brought his truck over to where we were at, tied a rope on his and onto my friend's truck. And then when he tried to pull it out, his truck ended up getting stuck. So now there's this rope that's frozen, covered up in mud and snow, and so we needed to cut it off. And here I am, I just whipped out my knife, this thing is really cool. It has black handles, it has a dragon painted on it. It's a lockback knife. It's one of the knives that I was selling. And I tried to cut the rope. Guess what happened? The handle went this way, woo, bloop. And the blade went this way, woo, bloop. And so here I am standing there, dumbfounded. And that one guy, he pulled out his knife, which is your old-fashioned classic buck 110, and he used it to cut the rope. That is when I realized having a good quality knife is worth its weight in gold. And so, anyway, I want to show you just some of the knives that I used for EDC. Some of the knives that I carried in over the years. And maybe it'll give you a better understanding or idea of what's available out there. Anyway, let's get started. This is what started me on my knife passion. It's right here. A knife that's very similar to this one. The first time I saw it, I fell in love with it. Bone handle, brass bolsters. It got the lockback. This was the one that my wife gave me for Christmas. And this one is surgical steel, made in Japan. But that's what started it off. This is my first EDC knife. Your classic pocket knife, a camp knife. The original multi-tool. This one was given to me by this one guy who was setting up at the flea market and I was helping him out, and after I got paid, he gave me this knife. Now, this one is made by Imperial. It's your grandfather's knife. Yes, it is. But it is the one that I use every day. I had this in my pocket every day. It has your knife, your bottle opener, your can opener. The only thing about it is that this knife, well, it doesn't lock. It's really made for light use only. I mean, if you want to do some light whittling and everything, I did take it camping, fishing, hiking, but this was my first EDC knife. But it still was my main EDC knife, long before the term EDC even came out. But this is the one that I picked up. The main thing I like about it, it looks just like a stiletto. And this was the main knife that I used for everything, really. From cleaning a fish, camping, cutting rope. And the main thing I like about this knife, I like to mess with the cops, because at the time when I was living in Nevada, switchblades and automatics are illegal. So I always love it when they stop me and pull out my knife, only to find out it's not an automatic. But this is even at the time, this served its purpose. This is made from your standard stainless steel blade. It's the main thing about stainless steel, it is soft, and therefore you can use it only a few times before it gets dull. However, in the 90s, that's when the liner lock came out. I love it, because the nice thing about the liner lock, it gives you the ability to open and close it with one hand. And what makes this a liner lock is that, as you can see, this part right here, this lock, that is the liner. This is one of the first knives that Kershaw made, or in the liner lock version of it. And this one is actually made in Japan. This is called the Kershaw Kai. Very old knife. Not sure what kind of steel it is, but however, that became my primary EDC in the following years, and it does hold an edge very well. Then in the late 90s, I spotted this. This is Benchmade Mel Purdue. And they have a brand new type of steel, which I've never even heard of at the time. And the steel type is ATS 34 steel. Supposedly, at the time, that was one of the toughest steels that you can get. And believe me, I use this many times, breaking down boxes, cutting rope and everything without it ever getting dull. The difference between this knife and that liner lock, the liner lock, as you can see, there's that liner right in the middle, and that is your lock. So, hence, called the liner lock. This one is called a frame lock. Difference is, there is no liners. The frame itself is the lock. But as years passed by, I pretty much forgot all about knives. And it wasn't until about 2012 that I decided to go back to knives. And I picked this guy up. This is the Ka-Bar Charon. Lockback with a Tanto tip on it. And what's cool is that this is AUS 8 steel, or AUS 8 steel. And you won't believe the price point of this. Only about $22. And I was impressed on how well made this knife is. I mean, it is solid. I use this a lot. I I was cutting down everything with it. And no, this isn't the original color. The original color was zombie green. I just didn't like the zombie green, so I dyed it. A couple of years later, I spotted this knife. This is the CRKT Ripple. They also call it the Cricket, or the Columbia River Knife and Tool Company. And what's cool is that this one is actually one of my first flipper knives that I ever have. It's a can of onion design. CRKT. The only thing is that it's made from a new material. It's made from HCR13 MOV, which is a better quality steel than your standard stainless, I do admit. Going up a little bit in price, this one has a different type of lock on it. It's made by Benchmade. It is called the Mini Reptilian. At the time, it retailed well over from 80 to about 120. I picked this up for about $65. At the time that I picked it up, I bought it off eBay, and the original handle on this was surprisingly was kind of like this peachy pink thing, and which is definitely not made for me. But the nice thing about this one is actually an axis lock. So you have the spring that pushes up to this bar, and you have to pull down on it to actuate the lock. This is my workhorse. This is one of the main knives that I use with me, and I put it through everything. This one has a good mid-grade steel. It's a 154 cm steel. Again, yes, it retails well over $100, but if you take a look around, you don't need to pay that much. By the way, this isn't the clip that it comes with. This is an aftermarket clip that's made out of titanium that I added on there. Another one. This one retails for about $140. Spyderco. This is the Paramilitary 3 Lightweight Edition. It's an aftermarket titanium screw that I put on there. But the nice thing about this, it is extremely lightweight. Good quality steel. This has the CTS BD1N steel. What the hell is that? Oh, that's just a carpenter steel. What's different about this one is that this one actually have a compression lock. It's basically like a reverse liner lock. This is the latest knife that they have out in the market right now. It's gaining popularity in US. This is called the front flipper knife. And unlike your typical flipper where it's on the side, this one there's a little tab on the top where you pretty much roll your thumb to get it open. This one is actually made by a real steel. This is called the Metamorph. Has your 14C 28N blade steel. Good quality steel. That's basically Sandvik steel, or also known as Swedish steel. That I just ordered and just came in. CJRB. Who the hell is CJRB? Never heard of them. Well, CJRB is part of Artisan Cutlery, a newer company based in China. If you think about it, a lot of your American brand name knives, which includes Gerber, Kershaw, CRKT, many of them are made overseas. Comes in a plain box. Nothing special about it. This This one is called the Ria. The CJRB Ria. Ooh, love that action. Very smooth. And this also have your 12C27N metal, which is also known as the Sandvik steel. Good quality steel, mid-grade steel, holds a good edge. It is very corrosion resistant too. And no hot spots. I like that deep carry clip as well. Yep, roughly the cutting edge is about 3 inches, and total overall length looks like 6 3/4 inches. Okay, it looks like, wow, extremely light, folks. It's only 2.19 ounce. Let's do the old-fashioned paper cut here. Straight out of the box, see what kind of an edge it has. Ooh, very nice. This is what you consider more of a gentleman's knife, or an office carry knife. Something that you can whip out in the office, and people won't start freaking out thinking that you're some psycho killer. But anyway, folks, I hope this video helped you out. And if you guys like this video, please give me a like and leave your comments below. Anyway, consider subscribing. Thank you very much, folks. And till next time, take care. Hey guys, Gerald here with the Novice Angler. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that last video. If you guys did, go ahead. Watch some more down below. Go and click down below. Anyway, just want to let you guys know that we do have our own little online shop. It's filled with a bunch of original, unique t-shirts, all designed by yours truly and my wife. T-shirts like this. Anyway, go ahead and check out the link down below, and thank you very much. Do appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys later. You guys take care.